Axis&Allies, 1914. We are headed into round 18. This may very well be the end of it. I'm not sure I want to continue to go on with this, but I want to find out a little bit more. At the end of round 17, of course, the Americans landed over here in Egypt. They would be some help to a British group down here, but we're going to have to wait to see what the Britons do and find out where the Americans can help. Is it simply just to move to Transjordan? Not with this group here. Britons have to add to this in order to feel good about it, because there's not enough here, not enough Americans here to just be somewhere by themselves. So that is essentially all they did. They moved transports around, moved some new units up here that are coming. 7 infantry and a fighter. The Austrians now are buying 3 more subs and nothing but infantry. And the idea of the subs is to put the pressure on the naval units of the Allies in the Mediterranean. As it stands here, actually, both these fighters, we are going to go with 1, boom, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fighters. All 6 fighters that are the territories that are in or touching Sea Zone 17 are going to try and sink these transports. It's an unfortunate situation. Maybe if I was a little more alerted to it. I guess I talked about it last round, but I just really needed these units here and didn't bring the British up enough. I could have moved something in there. So it's an oversight, but in this game, sometimes you move on to the next country, you find something that you should have done, and when you're playing by yourself, you just go ahead and move it. And I'm not doing that here, because it feels like the Allies deserve it. So, Austrians are moving from Tuscany in to Piedmont, and from Venice into Piedmont. Everything that's there, with the exception of 3 infantry and an artillery. They are staying in Tuscany. And then all the fighters that they have are going into Sea Zone 17. And that will be the Austrian turn. It'll look quite damning for the Allies at the end of this, I think. That is the beginning of round 18. All right, the Austrians wiped out the transports in Sea Zone 17. That was 3 transports, 2 American, 1 Italian, which may not seem like much, but the Americans have not lacked for transport movement, always having something around, and now it's just going to be that much more difficult. Up here, this wasn't actually an attack into Piedmont, because the American unit had backed up into Marseille that they turned before. So it was just moving in with the German that was there. The Germans are purchasing 10 infantry, artillery, fighter, tank, and for fun, they're building a battleship. They're going to attack from 4 different territories, all into Burgundy. So they should have an incredibly strong group there, backed up by the Austrians, and then have access to Marseille as well. They plan to bring in enough units back into Picardy that if the Allies decided to attack it, it'd probably be damning, because it would allow this group in Burgundy to attack Paris. So we shall see. That will be the German turn. So the Germans jumped into Burgundy. They've got almost 20 infantry there with their stack of 15 artillery 7 fighters, 6 tanks, and moved into Picardy with another stack of 10 infantry. The French wanted to attack something. But had they gone after Picardy or Burgundy to hit them and then the British hitting them, the retaliation from the Austrians and the Germans, I felt like would have been too strong. Plus, their initial attack would have hit them hard anyway. The French, of course, still have all of these units here. That is 15, nearly 20 infantry alone. And their fighters, they've got 2 there and 2 more all in Paris. So they should be able to, once that dogfight starts, potentially make it close to where the Germans cannot get air superiority. Again, the odds have to be 3-1 to get it. But as much as I wanted to attack with the French, I couldn't do it. They bought all infantry and just continued to stack up and prepare for the inevitable German attack. The British, purchasing 12 infantry, a couple artillery, are attacking from Transjordan into the Syrian desert and from Mesopotamia into the Syrian desert. So they're going to pile their units into there, and they're going to walk into Ankara. That's the only attacks they have. And then they'll transport what they can up and defend locations. That's it. Everything up here from London is simply going to be transporting new units and moving those units into Paris to wait for the Germans' next turn that is sure to get all those units into Paris. So we'll see how the London British attacks result. So the British now in Paris have nearly 20 infantry, as do the French. Not as many fighters, but enough to put up a defense. And down here in the Middle East, they took the Syrian desert. They still have an infantry in Smyrna. So the Ottomans cannot attack into the Syrian desert. And then they move some units up. The Ottomans are, once again, building nothing but infantry. Even though it's been a stalemate, it really doesn't matter. I don't think the British can afford more than what they've been sending. And the Austrians are on the way with help. They're not going to be sending an extreme amount of help, but what is here right now is going to move in, which was all the same units that were over there taking Moscow and came down south to deal with the British. So outside of that, 1 or 2 infantry per turn. Everything else is still going up to assist the Germans. And we will see. The Ottomans are attacking back into Ankara with everything they can from Constantinople, 6 infantry. And of course, they're going to attack and take out this British unit here, which, because of their tank, obviously they will get. That will be the Ottoman turn. Round 18 coming to a close. Of course, the Ottomans cleaned up Smyrna. They took Ankara back. The Italians moved their battleship and their cruiser out of Sea Zone 18 there. Back over here into 17, they've given up on trying to control the Austrian sea zone there, because the Austrians have money to spend on sea units at this point, and the Allies do not. So just holding Sea Zone 17 seems to be more important. The Americans did move up into Transjordan. They transported a couple more units to Egypt. Also moved their ships out of Sea Zone 18. Moved units up into Marseille and shipped back over to Spain. So there are new transports on the coast over there. And they loaded some French transports. So moving on into round 19, haven't put the attack markers down yet. It looks like when we attack Paris, this might be the end of it. We'll see how successful that is, but I'm certain we are going to attack Marseille with everything we've got for the Austrians, which will give them on the following round Bordeaux and Spain as options, instead of just going up here and helping the Germans with Paris. They're still indirectly helping. And down here, they will move their 2 infantry from Constantinople somewhere, whether that's Ankara or Smyrna, I'm not sure yet. And then, of course, all these units here in Greece will be moving down to assist, and that fighter probably will go somewhere to help defend it. They are purchasing a cruiser, fighter, artillery, and infantry. And that will be the Austrians' turn in round 19.